Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Rome 2 Total War with the Caesar in Gaul campaign using the Gods of War Workshop mod pack. Last time around we took now I keep saying this wrong. Massiliana is what I usually say, but it's Massaliana. Right, since then Caesar has marched on and also taken Vasio, so we controlled that as well. Further campaigns were halted though because winter arrived, and I was talking about going against the Everni, which has not happened because we came too close to winter, and during winter the loss of marching around and doing stuff that, like, there's no point, like it's gonna be, you're gonna lose so many men trying to siege out places. And also it turns out, as we can see here from the Averni's capital, they have quite a few troops here. So there's 4 full stack, and then you have to imagine that the garrison provides another one, so that would be quite the massive army. So my plan is, it's kind of to hope that the Averni will go against the other big faction. So if we go over to strategic view, we've got the Averni and their allies, the VVC and the, is that the province though? No, that's the owner, and the Uleni, and then we have the sort of Germanic factions with the Gallic Confederation and the Nervi and the Germania, or that sort of coalition there of factions against this coalition, and then we kind of end up somewhere in the middle, although being more friendly towards the Averni than this faction, since we're actually at war with Germania and the Nervi, even though they haven't made any progress whatsoever towards us. Someone thought that I should do a surprise military campaign against Britain, but that's, I mean, that's the other side of the map. It would split my already weak legions against the enemy. It would open up like an area here, but I don't see that as this strategic strong point. Like, the main thing is to cut the Averni down to size, and so we're just now at the start of campaign season. This is early spring, early April, and we need to divide and conquer by having the Averni go to war with this coalition which has entered up. So if we go into diplomatic, we can see that there's not going to be much chance of us, you know, signing peace with all of these and then convincing the Averni to, or convincing these guys to declare war on Averni. So it's better than, because we have some friendly relations with the Averni, to have the Averni declare war on these guys and then backstab the Averni. So I think we're gonna sort of try to improve our relationship standing with the Averni, and then get the Averni to declare war here, or just wait for the inevitable that the Averni would declare war on these. Because right now we cannot attack because there's so many Averni troops. One thing I also noticed, which we can see most prominently here. So, due to the extended regional population mod, you have these 3 layers, and if you remember in the beginning, I had a big trouble trying to, you know, increase population, have growth in my cities, and I was losing thousands of people in the beginning. Now I've seemed to stabilize it, and so we've got Narbo Marius at 21,000 people. Massil, I want to say the same, I keep going at that. Massilal, Mas Massalia. Massalia at 18,000. This one, Vathio at 8,000, and then if we go to the ones that we held from the start, we'll go see a massive improvement there with 53,000 in Pollentia, and then similarly here 61,000, 192, and 150,000 in Genoa, and 23 over in Octoduron. So it's pretty high numbers in R, but then when I actually moved over, I found something rather surprising when looking at this city. So this one's only 5,000, so oh, maybe that's isolated to this area. This one's only 3,000. I haven't seen any of the others, but I can imagine that just by looking at this this way, that I can kind of imagine that the AI does not handle the extended population mod that well if these provinces have been so depopulated. Now I know this place were under siege for quite a while, but even now it's losing growth, and it's at 5,000 people. So anyways, we have an idea of what to do. Oh yes, also I had a load of these generals that I could hire for no cost, and I decided to hire them because they provide positive effects for the cities they are placed in, and so forth. So we've got, who is this? Cassius Longinus, and we have Brutus up here, Lucius Brutus. We have Vespasianus over here, and was that all? Yes, I only had 3. Oh yes, the most important thing. During winter and during that time, I have been able to complete a new cohort barracks instead of the old one, which was... Oh, and we built an auxiliary camp up here. The old one, I think I have the old one over here, which was Manipula barracks. So this is kind of also the level of troops. Manipulars are units within the cohort, I believe, and then the cohort, if you go up, you go to legionary barracks. So within the legion you have cohorts, and within the cohorts you have manipulars, and within that you kind of get the idea. And so with this, I've been able to get some new troops, because actually within the first manipular barracks you couldn't get the 10th legion, because people said, you know, why don't you have the 10th if you have the 13th for Mark Antony, why don't you have Caesar's favorite 10th legion for Caesar? When I actually looked at it, it went like 6, 7, 8, or it starts at, I think it starts at like 4 or something. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it jumped over 10 and went 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's kinda, but then I've upgraded to the cohort barracks, so now I can recruit the 10th legion. I've moved all these, so no, generic legionaries into the first legion, Gallica, under what was it called? Regalius, which was the guy that held Narbo, and then we've boosted the 13th a bit. So the 13th under Mark Antony has been boosted with a few more cohorts, and I think there's an extra one. Let's see. They're all supposed to be 13th. Oh, maybe I didn't get that one for the 13th. Because you could get the first cohort. So as you see, these are called Legion 13 Gemini, cohorts 2 to 10, and then you're supposed to be able to get the first one. I don't seem to have that one for this. Anyways, that's Mark Antony's, and we've looked at that. And now here is Caesar's improved legion. And so we have Caesar himself. We have cohorts Prima, so the first cohort. And they are the best of the kind, so an elite unit there. Then we have... of these, I should have one that is the first. If I could find that one. Maybe there's no difference. There's one... Oh, there it is. There. The 10th Legion Equestrius cohort, the first cohort. It's not that much better. It's got 5 points more armor is the only difference. Oh, it's bigger, that's why. I didn't notice that. It's a lot bigger than the others. It's 100 man, roughly more. So there we have the 10th Legion under Caesar. And you can see that the veterans have done their work. All of them are at rank 6. And we can see similar for all of these. So these have even rank 9, which are the highest. So really good ranks for all around. I can hire a lot more auxiliary troops from up here, and I'm thinking we're kind of low on money now because I'm running 3 legions, but I think we're gonna switch over to slingers instead of the spear throwers. They're a little bit more expensive in upkeep, but they have a lot more ammunition, and I think they will be more useful than the spear throwers in the long run. So at some point we'll get those. I think obviously archers are the best because they have good missile damage and they have a lot of ammo, whereas the spear throwers have a lot of the highest amount of damage but the lowest amount of ammo, and then the slingers are the other way around. They have the most ammo because it's literally laying on the ground all around them. But they have the lowest amount of, they do the lowest amount of damage. So anyways, there's no, there's gonna be a lot of dealings back and forth until I actually get to the point where we can go into war with these guys. And I don't know how I'm gonna show that, because I think the video is probably going on already quite a bit, just me talking a bunch of stuff where I know you guys want to see blood. So I'm gonna play through here and we're gonna see if I can during this kind of explain how I'm building up towards having the Averni focus their forces on someone else, so I can go ahead and stab them in their soft underbelly. So with that said, I'm gonna end turn, and we'll see when I come back to you if I'm actually able to do that, or if it is that the Averni decides, you know what, these Romans need to be crushed, and they march against me, which would be the worst option. So without further ado, let's go ahead and end turn and see what we can come up with. Right, we're back. It actually went through all of early spring without me being able to do really anything, because I don't really have the money to persuade anyone to do anything back and forth. So I decided, and having a closer look at the map, I realized that the last piece of the Helvetia province, if you remember, the one that I have made an attempt at before with Caesar's legions, it actually contains iron, which would be greatly beneficial to our campaign. So I marched 2 legions over. This is Regalius, and then Caesar is on his way as well. And just now, as snow has thawed away and the rivers flow heavy with snow water, we're like just the first turn into summer. I move these guys up, and in waiting for Caesar I put them in ambush mode, and look who walked into my ambush. The bigger part, I believe, of the Germanic force in the Helvetian province. So I'll cut their force in half with this ambush. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna have another ambush battle, and they're definitely gonna rue the day they went up against Rome. And here we are for the ambush, and it looks like it's gonna be even better than last time. Because last time I think I only had 3 or 4 of these units. Now I have an additional 2, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And it's a mighty steep hill. The problem with a mighty steep hill is maybe they'll go too fast right through them. But there we have it, and we have the legions lying ready to ambush this. And when taking a closer look at the enemy force, I realize that it's kind of all levies. And some of them don't even have clothes on. So I think it's gonna go pretty well. I've hidden all my units except the general apparently. There we go. Now he's hidden as well.
As you command.
We have the single cavalry unit there, and let's make sure that no one's on fire at will to set off the attack beforehand. And boom, we'll start.
Now give them no time to think. Hurry them.
Ah, look at that. A lot of the units were hidden. So all the heavier units for some reason were hidden from our view. So I thought it was a little bit too few men. Okay, so everyone with a shirt on was for some reason invisible to the Romans. But everyone else we could see. So I'm thinking, I don't know when to set it off here. Because maybe one would have wanted most of these weaker club levies to pass, and then I would have set up like 6 cohorts here to charge out and get them, and then dropped all the burning hay bales down upon the Celto-Germanic spearmen and such. But I think this will have to do. Okay, here it goes. We're setting fire to all the hay bales. I'm wondering if some of these might roll the wrong way. The second line there. Okay, here it comes. Going through the general unit and all these weak clubmen. Crushing them, and here comes another batch of flaming hay bales. I think we're setting fire to some of our own men there, unfortunately. Devastating the first ranks here of the enemy unit. Crushing through, just setting everyone ablaze. But yeah, they don't react, which I think, you know, when they receive damage like that, they should, I think, react and actually like go into sort of the non-ambush mode, so they would actually fight back and not just like as soon as the unit takes damage. I think they should fight back and not wait for I don't know what they're waiting for really. Alright, so these guys setting off these, and now these will will set off another wave of these burning hay bales. Okay, now they are reacting. And quickly move the legions into play. Oh yeah, it's because I told the archers to fire at will. First, a line of cohort will move up, and then they'll be followed by the second one from there, slightly moving to the side of that, and we'll have the cavalry be activated right now, and with that we'll go to normal speed. Oh, and we draw back the levies from the front, throwing massive amounts of spears at us, but we're throwing massive amount back on them. And they're even trying to climb the steep hill over here, which isn't going too well for them. And then the second line are throwing their pila. These guys, not unsure, they were thinking of enveloping this one, but then a few more cohorts appeared in the flank. Do we have any melee fight starting here? There's the first fight where we actually get into melee combat. Cavalry is back here just in case. And they're kind of trembling in front of us. And with that, I think we have the opportunity to strike forwards. So I'm ordering every single cohort to be moved into play and crush them. And we'll take a look at the fighting. Not much to say. That's roughly what's happening throughout the battle here. The nakeds. You don't want to be naked in a rain of arrows. Guy got his head kicked in. They're holding a little bit better over on this side, where they've got the stronger spear-wielding troops. So they're holding us back there, while the weaker ones are routing. They're moving some of the stronger units over there. I'll have my light cavalry now move in and strike at the weaker side here, where they've got their Germanic youths. Oh, they've got one extra unit there to bring up. Not quick enough though, as the light cavalry are ready to ride down everything that comes in their way, and unfortunately that was a retreating unit. And I say that as unfortunate for the retreating unit. Keep it up. We had some cohorts suffering quite heavy casualties, even with our prepared position, but the thing is, comparatively, the kill to death ratio is going to be quite staggering for the Germanic force. And they're fleeing en masse now, the few units that still remain. I don't see any point running after them. Back into line.
Mounted death. Make charge.
And you will just chase some of these down. Because Rome requires slaves. Good slaves for the citizens of Rome will enhance our wealth. He's so tired he just puked. Or maybe it's because of all the blood he's seen. But he's got no blood on him, in fact. So this is the one, the smallest one. They're down to 80 men, I believe. Some better units. Very nice throughout. We've got some men retreating there, but look at the casualties as well. A lot of it comes down to the hay bales, which did a lot, but then again, the naked barbarian fighting uphill against the Roman army didn't go too well. I think we've got a general there, just by the shimmering of his armor. Well, he's the only one that's got proper armor on. The rest of them are naked. And these are truly naked warriors. They held off a little bit better down here. We've got a higher rate of Roman casualties. Also, we took quite a beating there where they threw a lot of spears. I don't know exactly where it were, but it was somewhere around there. But there we have that. Let's go back to the campaign map and see what follows. And they actually survive, some of them, but when we look at how many men we lost and so forth, we lost about 500 men, while the enemy lost 3,000, almost 4,000 men, leaving only 759 in their army. We can see that most of the kills actually come from the Germanic youth, so it's all about those throwing spears that I believe did. Oh, you know, we can't actually see the kills here. And most of what I achieved kills on our side wasn't actually the legionnaires, but it was the mercenary Gaulic hunters, which slayed together almost like 750 men, and then the hay bales did probably 1,000 men, and then the rest was spread among the legionnaires, in which one unit suffered heavily, probably due to the Germanic youth. But damn, it was a good battle, and we just cut their force down to size. We're gonna go ahead and enslave all of those 1,000 captives and send them back to work the mines in our territory.
Waiting for orders. March.
And because of this, Gaius Lucius Regalius actually gains level, so he's a rank 7 general. Because of that battle, he also gained a mercenary commander. Hiring cost for mercenaries is reduced. The hiring cost is not the great thing though. It's the upkeep. So I would rather have a minus on upkeep. That would actually make some bank for me. And then we have some construction report. Auxiliary barracks in Octodurum are even better than before. Public forum in Massiliana, and we've got a Temple of Neptune being built. And I think I showed you that as as the enemy retreated. Their other full stack that was actually stationed here retreated across the river and back towards their lands,
Commander.
leaving this force and this which they are gathering up. Oh, it's the king? That would be a mighty blow to the Germanic tribes to kill their king. Right, so I can use this one, evading enemy agents and chance of anticipating an enemy ambush. Or we could go ahead and use something like replenishment, which would be good. Armor for all units and ammunition for all units would also be rather good, especially for our what's it called? 25% 8 armor and melee skill. That's pretty good. We'll take that. We're at no stands. Probably what I'll do is follow up and kill these. Caesar has forced marched his way over here, and we'll move to normal stands. His veteran, gonna go ahead and choose that. So now Caesar's up here. Suffered a little bit of winter attrition. He is ready then to take on the city, while this army will finish off these bastards. And they retreat out of view for us. He'll move back just to we both, if both be attacked while I end turn, then I'll can draw from both of them. 2% chance of manipulating this so-called dignitary.
What do you wish of me?
What can I do? Subvert him? 6%. Oh, that's great.
Ever in service to Rome.
Can I sabotage the king? 40% chance. I can sabotage the settlement. Convert chance 50%. That sounds pretty good, actually.
Weak men are so easily
That will
corrupted.
increase Latin influence quite a bit.
Failure shames me.
We failed. You will move across. Oh, he gained rank though. Oh, look at that. The Nervi are gathering strength. So it's good that I draw these back to stand next to each other, because they are gathering strength over there. Once the king is killed, I believe that I would be able to sign peace with the Germanians, because we do no longer share a border. And then if I can devastate these two armies, then maybe we can sign a peace with the Nervi as well. And we can see about maybe having a process of turning the Nervi then against the Averni. Also, I see a potential here if I send agents all the way out here to cause mischief, because that's how the Averni has lost some of these provinces here, is because they rebelled and then the smaller factions went in and took them before the Averni took them. So we could see that the Averni lose this possibly by sending my agents over there, see what we can do. But other than that, we're gonna end the episode right here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!